Alright, so for a little while now, I've been wanting to make an emulator machine. Plug it into a TV, play PS2, Wii, and GameCube primarily, and whatever else I want to put on there. It also doubles as a media PC, so I have my movies and whatnot. This is going to be an AMD build. AMD tends to work better with the emulators, especially since consoles like the Wii use an AMD APU, and it does tend to work a lot better when you use an AMD system. Also, a lot of the emulators will take advantage of OpenCL, and AMD does pretty good with that. Also, one last thing why I didn't choose NVIDIA for this particular one is sometimes you need to run hacks or different things in order to get NVIDIA drivers to work. I really don't want to deal with that, and AMD parts tend to be cheaper for the price performance for this particular build. Some of the parts I'll be using are, some of them have been recycled for previous systems, some of them I bought. But the first thing I'd like to do is to go ahead and open this up. This is the Thermaltake V3. They have a V4 out. I'm not a big fan of it anyway. I'm mostly getting this for looks. You know, it's got the big AMD logo on it. It's got that nice red theme. And yeah, I'm usually on the green team myself. I do like NVIDIA quite a lot. But this is, again, AMD for the reasons I mentioned, and oh wow, that really looks nice. Yeah, that really looks nice. You can see the AMD logo there. It's nice and red in the front. And one of the things I really like about it is like the graphic on the side panel. Looks really nice. So let's go ahead and get this out. Alright, and let's fall into the box. Alright, so it's around. It's not that heavy. So steel's probably not that thick. But whatever, you know. In this case was $49.99 free shipping on Amazon, although like it's through Tiger Direct, so, or I'm sorry, it's through Amazon. Amazon was being the middleman here, but Tiger Direct shipped it via not USPS, UPS. Came pretty quickly. I ordered it Sunday night, I believe, and today is Wednesday. So yeah, this does look really nice here. This is not a sticker either. This is printed on. It's got a bit of flex to it. But that does look really nice. Go ahead and take this off. I was kind of looking for a case, the larger side window, but I mean, this does look really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, whoops, missed some of the documentation. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a safe place for now. I'm gonna take off all this protective shipping plastic. That soundo. So here we go. Yeah, that looks nice with the AMD logo. Got the nice honeycomb grill here. Or actually, these are circles, but there's honeycomb in there. I think that doesn't look like very restrictive air filter. Says the larger dust particles and whatnot will probably stay out. Let's see here. I'm a little disappointed to see the lack of thumb screws. Thumb screws are quite nice. These, yeah, okay, so I'm thinking that these are replaceable since it has this bracket here. I really hate the cases where they cheap out on like the PCI slot, PCI slots, because what they'll do is like you punch them out and you can't put them back in case you want like a different form factor card. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my screwdriver and open this thing up. Okay, so I got a screwdriver here. Go ahead and take off the side panels. Whoops. Derp. I will one of these days eventually need to get like a magnetic bowl or something to put all of my little screws and stuff in, or one of those mats for my Fix-It where it's got like a a grid on it, so you can label label what each screw is and where they go. Maybe one day. I don't do this often enough to do that. I only put one of these together every so often. It's not really every set time. So yeah, and this does look really, really nice. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this off. So that's being kind about it. Let's try the other side. Yeah, the other side comes off. Pretty blank on the other side. I'm just going to put this down here. Okay. You want me to... Okay. Alright. So there's a side panel. And try not to scratch up that window. It might have been a good idea to keep that plastic on. Anyway, so onto the inside of the case. Alright, so let's see, it's got just one pre-installed standoff. Ooh, this is a nice thick braided cable from the fan. I don't know about this fan though. I may change that out later. I don't know yet. So we've got all of our various connectors on here and LEDs. I like to see this. One of the cheaper cases they got before, it wasn't $50, it was more like $40, like $39.99. It had USB 3.0 it claimed, but you had to route it all the way back to the motherboard, and that was just really stupid. This actually has the proper header on it, or it goes into the proper motherboard header. You got your HD audio. I don't know why they still include AC97s. No one uses that. It's old interface. That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's only one USB 2.0. That's right, it's not the double. That's what I was looking for. So we got our power LED, reset switch, HDD, and the power switch. And then we got our tools design up here. I will be installing, I'm gonna grab it. I will be putting one of these in here just in case I want to put like an actual disc in it. This is just a DVD burner I had laying around. Why not? Set this down here. Also, I got one of those Apiva power supplies that has the LEDs in it that you can change the color. So what I'm thinking is I'll just change that to red. I really don't want to have to route LEDs in here. So then we got our bag of screws. Actually, rather, we have a bag that contains a bag. More screws in it. We've got ourselves a speaker so that when it posts, if there's a problem, we can get a beep code. Beep code? Yeah, we get a code. So yeah, it includes more brass standoffs. I have 1 million of these just in case we need more. So yeah, that is about it. Although one thing I am noticing is this not a... Oh, that's the LED. No, this is the power button. The reset button is the small one under this. These are quite nice to press. So you got one USB 3.0, as I said before, one USB 2, headphone and microphone. I'm glad to see these split apart and not together in a 4-pole. And just in case I need to later, I can put an SD card reader or something in there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the components and stack them up in front of the camera so you guys can see what I'm putting in this build. Alright, so I've got all my parts out here. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the tutorial of inserting the CPU into the motherboard socket, applying thermal compound, and then putting on the heatsink. It's easiest to do this when everything is out of the case, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Actually, really quick before I do anything else here, I'm going to go ahead and point out the components. So we've got ourselves a post speaker, which came with the case, 8 gigs of RAM. These are 2 gig sticks each. They'll both be running in dual channel. They're both 1333, which is the fastest that our AMD CPU will support. So we've got, they're all Kingston, but these two will go slots A1 and A2, B1 and B2. And then our CPU, this is an AMD Athlon 2. It's a quad core at 2.8 gigahertz, but we're going to overclock this thing to probably, I'm going to say like 3.2 gigahertz or so. Arctic Silver 5 for a thermal compound, our DVD drive from earlier that I mentioned, a 1 terabyte Barracuda hard drive that runs at 7200 RPMs. We don't really need any SSDs or... Let me turn that off. It's a bit warmer out today, so I had to turn that off. Anyway, so 7200 RPM hard drive, that's about 200 megs a second read and write. Our back panel I/O plate. We got our heatsink. This is more than enough for this. Again, we can overclock because this is not a particularly hot chip. And then we've got our motherboard. This is the Asus A97 R2.0, the R2.0, that's revision 2. Never even seen the first one. I assume it had lots of problems. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get in the tutorial of putting in or installing the CPU into the motherboard. Anyway, so we've got ourselves a CPU here. The first order of business is to open this like so. We get our CPU out. Alright, so if we take a look on the CPU here, focus. If we take a look on the CPU here, you can see there's this gold triangle here, and this will indicate how we insert it into the motherboard. So you can see if we look at the motherboard, there's a little triangle right here. So what we do is we matched it up with this, because if we look on the bottom, you can see that they're cutouts here. It's very important not to touch the gold fingers. So we're going to match up that triangle, and this is a 0 insertion slot, which means that we should be able to just drop the CPU in. Yep, just like that, it's in. So now they're going to carefully put this down, just like so. And that's in there nice, it's not going anywhere. And now the next step is to apply thermal compound. I'm using Arctic Silver. I've had good experience with this, so that's why we're going to use it. Alright, now this is important to not overdo because you don't want to spill off to the side. This is, I don't believe this is non-conductive. You just want to put a little bit in the center, like so. Just like that. That looks like it's enough. Oops, I had to free up some space on my SD card and ran out. Anyway, so like I was saying, only put a little bit. There's so little room between your heatsink. Let me grab that. Yeah, professionalism. But there's so little room between your heatsink and the CPU that this spreads out all the way. So what we need to do is figure out which side this goes. This is an AMD socket, so it uses a different system than Intel. So what you need to do is you need to slide it in like this. It's important that once you set down the heatsink, you don't pull it back up because it's going to ruin your thermal compound. You're going to have to wipe it all clean and reapply it. So you need to get these two clips underneath the things, underneath the tabs, and then just bring over this tension arm, make sure that the heatsink does not move, set down, and there we go. So now this is firmly in place, it's not going anywhere, and I'm going to attach some silencers to this, and then my the main CPU pin. One of the problems with this motherboard is it only runs the fan at full speed all the time, and that's quite annoying, so I'm definitely going to use some resistors between here and here to make sure that the voltage isn't so high that this is whining all the time, because that would really suck. While we're zoomed in on the motherboard here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a little bit of getting closer here. Let's go ahead and get into inserting RAM. So because we're going to be using all 4 slots, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open each of these. Okay, so those are open. I'll just get around here. So you notice we're going to be using all the slots, so we don't have to be too paying attention to this, except to there's a little something down in there. Gotta get that out. Just a moment. You can do it. You can do it. All right, got that out. That was slightly annoying. Anyway, so back to what I was saying about these. So you've got these 2 colored ones and these 2 colored. Now we're going to be running in dual channel, which means that if I were to only have say 2 sticks, I would want to put it in this slot And because I'm a scrub, I put that in backwards. We're going to put it in this slot. Push down on each side. It's 1, 2. And then we got our other memory stick. 1, 2. Alright, so those are in. So yeah, you need to consult your, I know it's kind of shameful, but you need to consult the manual on this one to make sure that if you're using 2 sticks, that you put them in the right slots. We're using all 4, so this does not apply to us. 1, 2. One more. Oops. This is just some DDR3 1333 megahertz I had laying around. And 2. Alright, so just make sure all the clips are in, that these are in solidly. We are golden. Now let's go ahead and get back out and go ahead and put the motherboard in the case. Alright, so the first order of business is to go ahead and put in our I/O shield in. Right here it just pops in. It's important to put this the correct way. Typically the audio ports will be on the bottom, so just keep that in mind. So you just need to come back here and okay, I am finally satisfied with that. That took way longer than it needed to. Okay, so I'm going to have to lay this down on its side and get the camera better angle for this shot. Alright, so let's get on with it, shall we? Alright, so we need to install the motherboard. That's funny. We need to install the motherboard into here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way. Oops. That's quite a robust cable there. Let's get this out of the way. Alright, so we've got our bag of standoffs. Let's see, this is a standard ATX motherboard, but it does not use these. It only comes out to here. So, let's see. Oh, do we not need to, let me take a quick look at this. Alright, so as it turns out, we don't actually need to use the 2 standoffs that it included because they're already in the case. So that's quite convenient. So we got our little baggie of screws here. I'm going to go ahead and get out what we need for the motherboard. Let's see, we have 2, 4, 5 we need. Because again, this isn't quite as wide as a normal ATX board is. That is a normal ATX board. Let's see. Okay, which threads do we need? Alright. Here's the screwdriver. Alright. Let's try out this one first. Yep, that's okay. That's what we need. Okay, yeah, this one here. One of the things I've seen on most people over here is like they don't use all these little standoff points out. Okay, right here. Good thing about these days, I'm really strong traces. There we go. Start with rail. Right, one. See it up here. Let's see another problem. One. Wow. Oh, there we go. Actually, I'll do those swings around. There we go. Yeah, screwdriver's not good. What's the next one? It's sliding, guys. I'm not going to touch. There we go. Ah! What's that? That's wrist. Professionalism. Professionalism. Might work. Oh, that is wow. Ah, yes, I was explaining. That's so long. There you go. Good, sir. Alright, one more. I don't need to learn what this one is. Yes, we can get some more details on the part of this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah. Oh, it's real. Alright. See that. We can now fit our power supply in. Yay! How did that happen? Alright. Take 2. Yes, alright, there we go. Power supply is in. Man, that looks good. Power supply, man. Anyway, let's turn this around like so. Alright, so now that we got a better angle, we can see here where we need to screw in the power supply. And I believe this uses the same threads as the motherboard. Or actually, it might be thinner than that. I do not recall. I'm looking at the threads and it looks like it's the right size. Yeah. Okay. Other screws. And a screw down here. Alright, so that looks good. We've got our voltage, 215 volts, because I'm in the US. And yeah, that power supply is not going anywhere. Man, that just looks awesome. First order of business, let's go ahead and plug this in. This is sticky, kind of. Such a long cable, too. It would need to go, like, right here. We've got all this, cable just laying around. Yeah, that looks good. How do I want to compress that? This case doesn't really have cable management, so I can't really go behind the motherboard here. Oh, I've got an idea. How about I take this out and route it around the fan? Is it long enough for that? I always have extensions, so. Oh, I can't go up there. Oh, this is a bummer. Maybe I can be a little cheeky. Oh, I can. Maybe? Can I be cheeky? Ah, I can be cheeky. Yes. Look. This particular section of the case needs to look really good inside because this is where the window is going to be located. So, right. So now I can get an extension. I just thought of something. The extension that I have, hang on, let me grab it. Actually, I do have a resistor here. It would be slowed down a bit. Oops. That looks alright. This isn't a proper extender, this has got a resistor on it up there. You can always take the resistor out again. That looks pretty good, yeah. That looks alright, you know, whatever. It's whatever. Yeah. No cable management on the case, so can't go behind the motherboard. Let's go ahead and, well, actually, before we plug any of this in, I'd like to get these big connectors out of the way, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get our 24 pin, plug that in. So we have our 20 pin first. Clicks in, and then our 4 pin, as indicated, needs to go in this way. You can only put them in one way anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. We'll only be able to see this area through the window, so I'm not too worried about over here, but I do want plenty of airflow to get through here though, so I don't want to go crazy with the cables. Next we'll plug in our 8 pin for the CPU. Wow, that's really crap. That really is a bummer though, and it doesn't look the prettiest. Whatever, it's whatever. Alright, so let's see. hard drive. Okay, so I'm thinking of two things. I could either put it on the bottom here. I want to leave this AMD logo here, or I could put it in the top. I'm kind of thinking of putting it in the bottom because then it would look a lot nicer inside. And we won't even see that part, but you know, I'll always know that it's not going to look good inside, and it's really going to eat away at me. Because I'm OCD like that, so. Great. Okay. Sometimes these, popping out these optical drive bays can be a little tricky. I don't feel any tabs on either side. Can I just push them? Alright, so what I need to do is I need to get my optical drive, and here I've decided it's going in the bottom. So right now I'm in the process of taking it out, so I've got this, and now I've got to pop out this bay here. Wow, that's what was holding it in. These pieces of crap that you can't see because the camera decided that you wouldn't be able to see it. We shall never speak of it again. Still, the front should be easier to take off. Make sure that looks good. That looks alright. Yeah, let me get my, oh, that one I will be needing to use screws. Go ahead and get this around now. Oop. Okay, so, see, yeah, these use much finer threads. Yeah, I remember these. Yeah. I know, I need to get that. I'm sure I had this a little much. Alright, so that's in. That is definitely not going anywhere. Alright, so then that's it on the front. There we go, got our DVD drive in. Looks alright. Alright, so now that horrendous words, now that that's over, let's go ahead and plug in the power. And I could just put all this down here. This is gonna be like the basement down there. Alright, so let's see what's next. We got our 24 pin, we got our SATA in. This is more SATA. God, you see this? This is why we use modular power supplies, but, I mean, look at that thing. Yeah. Exactly. So, see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need before we put in our graphics card. We got our CPU, got the main motherboard headers, got your, yeah. Oh yeah, we got to plug in our SATA cables. Alright, anyway, so we got our blue. This one is a right-hand one. I'm going to use this one. I think we're going to do blue and red. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't want it going up. Oh, that is a bummer. This goes the wrong way. This makes it go up. Well, who designed that? Oh, I know. This was from, I probably recycled this from an old computer. That was probably a computer that had a motherboard on the other side. Goes with the theme, yeah? Red. Let's see. Right. Yeah, it needs to go in like this. That looks terrible. Alright, can I make that look a little better? Whatever. Okay, and our hard drive. Boop. Okay. And we'll have it go right there. Okay, so we've got our data interface for both of these. We don't need this long one. Right, we need to plug this in. Let me get my resistors. Alright, I got 2 resistors. I'm going to have them in series since I don't have one single one that's powerful enough. I'm going to put that here. This is going to add some extra length, so I'm going to have to wrap this around a bit. Okay. Whoops. Looking in through the top of the case. In we go. Very good. We'll have that. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so we've got that plugged in. Let's wake it up there. Right there. So you can see here we've got our this is the CPU fan header, and that comes around under resistor 1, which is connected to resistor 2, which is then connected to the fan here. So I think we're pretty good in that department. Let's see. So I guess all that leaves is the graphics card. All right. So this is going to be annoying. All right. So we need to get rid of this one and these 2 PCI here. Let's go ahead and get in there. Okay, so need to take the screw off. Whoops. And move. Okay. So then this should just come off, right? And this, there it goes. Maybe. Alright, so we need, this one needs to come off. Yes. Oh, those are permanent. Alright, let's hope we don't screw up then. Yeah. That's weird. It's got a hybrid system, permanent ones and ones that you can put back in. That, man, I hate it when companies do this. Is it really that much more expensive to make it good? Whatever. That side panel though. Hope it's worth it. There we go. Bends a bit. Alright, so graphic card. And we go. Okay, let's make sure that's doing good. Yep. Right. Let's see. I need these. Looks like. Oh, this is gonna be a pain. Ah, crap.